Okay, welcome back. I'm ready to start a largemouth bass carving, and I've got my pattern drawn out here, and this will be about the physical size of it. Got my block of Tupelo here that I'm going to be working on, and I'm going to do something a little bit different on this video series. Is I'm going to try to keep the videos down. I know I've said that before, but I'm going to really make a conscious effort to shorten these videos up. I'll be showing each step of the process, but I'm not going to show the beginning to the end of each step. So I'm just going to kind of give you an idea of what I'm doing and how I'm doing it, and maybe a little brief explanation, and then I will do the rest of it off camera and come back. That way you can still get the idea of what I'm doing, and the videos won't be as long. That's how my goal is to do it that way this time. So I'm going to get started on this, but again, I appreciate y'all watching, and if you would, please subscribe to the channel and give me a thumbs up whenever, if you like the videos. Leave me comments in the comment section if you have a question on something that you may don't understand or missed how I did it. I'll be happy to answer it as best I can. And as always, I really appreciate any suggestions. If there's anybody that's watching that are master carvers or that they've been doing it a while, if you got a suggestion for me, I'm all ears. I'd be happy to hear it. So, but anyway, I'm going to get the camera turned around and get set up on this and get it drawn out, and then start working on getting it cut out. And appreciate y'all watching, and I'll be right back. All right, I need to pay attention to the grain this time. I get kind of lax on that and I mess up. So I'm really paying attention to the grain of the wood this time. Of course it's running this way, but the end is what I want to look at. And it looks like the center of the tree may have been in here, and the rings are going this way, so that's and it's pretty tight there too. I like that, so that should make it a little easier on the body size. Now I just need to decide what part I want to cut it out of, so I'll have to cut off the section of it, and hopefully I can leave enough material for fins. But I've got some other pieces of Tupelo in there I can cut it out of if I need to. So I think I'm going to take it off the top here. See what the top looks like. Yeah. So I'm going to draw it out here. I'm just going to trace out the rough shape. And I'm going to leave the tail on again this time. I think I like that on the crappie. So, like I say, in the past, is I've cut everything off, including the tail on the pattern, and then add those on separately. But the tail for me is the hardest one to fit and finish into the body. So it's a lot easier to carve that than it is to fit it in. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll cut the fish this shape out first, and then I have this width, and then I'll lay this on and get the curvature I want. So get started on that. All right, I didn't want to have to do this, but it won't fit in my vise, and I can't get it on the bandsaw, so I'm gonna have to cut off the bigger pieces with the chainsaw. All right, so let me get the might be able to get that in there now, and I'll get this part cut off with a sawzall. This is where having the proper tools would come in handy. If I had a bandsaw big enough, I could cut all this out, and my vise is not even big enough to hold it, so I can cut it out with a sawzall. So I'm gonna have to grind down the rough material, and so it's going to take a little while. And I'm using this very coarse carbide bit. It removes a lot of wood, but it's still going to take a little bit of effort to get this down to the rough shape of the drawing of the pattern. So most of this will be done off camera, but I'm just going to give you a little peek of what it's like. You can see, so I got it down close to the line here, and I could probably cut that out with a sawzall, and then but I gotta take it down to this line, and I gotta be careful on this side that I keep it even. So finish that up, and then I'll be back when it's done. Okay, I've got the pattern, I've got it cut out to the rough shape of the pattern. So what I'll do now is I'll go and draw the movement pattern on top, and then I'll have a lot more bulk wood to cut off, to take off then also. So I'll do that off camera too, because that's going to take a long time. This is about 2 hours of work here, grinding this down, cutting off pieces, and then grinding it down to shape. So it's going to be about the same on the sides too, but I'll show you that once it's done. And so I'm going to get started on that, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I done was I drew the pattern in on top, and then cut off the bulk wood off the sides, and got the rough shape down, the rough motion shape down. So, but there's still a lot of wood to take off, and I'm going to draw the pattern back in on the side so that I can keep my bearings on where the shape is. I don't want to get off shape of that. The mouth is off a little bit, but I've got plenty of room to fudge and make that work. So so what I'll do now is I'll get over here and put this up on the bench here, and draw that pattern back in, and make sure that it's straight, and then start taking off some of the corners, and getting that down, and getting the tail a little thinner, and just start rounding and shaping it up some. So all right, I'll be right back and get the camera set up, and be right back. Okay, I told you I was going to keep these videos short, so I'm done with the largemouth bass project. I cut as much as I could out to make the video short. So what do you think? Not falling for it, are you? This is a fish that I caught about 25 years ago. I never really was interested in having any fish mounted. I always let them go, and I caught this one on a Zara spook. I think it was right around 8 pounds or so, and we took pictures and let her go, and she took off like nothing was wrong with her. And but she was hooked deep in the gullet, so that did worry me. And got about 100 yards down and saw her, looked back and saw her flopping around belly up. So we went back down and picked her up and put her in a live well, and she stayed in the live well all day. And I would peek in there and she would be, I mean, she looked healthy, she was finning and upright, and didn't think anything was wrong with her. So we got ready to leave for the day and we let her go at the ramp, and she shot off and took off, and I thought, well, she's going to be healthy. We got the boat out and looked back, and she's belly up again about 50 yards out off the bank. So I went back out and tried to revive her a little bit, and she would take off, and then just a few minutes she'd come back up belly up again. So I didn't think she would make it, so I went ahead and brought her home, and had a friend of mine who was a taxidermist at the time. He still is, but he mounted her for me, and so I've had her on my wall for a long time. It's faded, and just it needs to be repainted, cleaned up and repainted. But I thought, you know, this is a great reference. So I brought it out here to kind of help me keep my bearing straight on this one, and you know, along with the pictures in this, it's a good be a good reference point for me. I have and this one is actually going to be the position or the shape I'm going to put this one in, kind of, so it'll have the slight curve out. So it's just going to be a good reference point for me. But anyway, I'm going to get on this one and draw out the top pattern or the side pattern, and see where I am. So let me get the camera set up here where you can see that. And I'm just drawing this on roughly. I'm not being real precise with it. I just want it to be close. Okay, so I have got the I drew the pattern on the top and then cut the bulk off the sides here, and I still need to go quite a bit more, but it's just I'm doing a little bit at a time. And I redrew the pattern in on here, and just to see where I am the height wise, and I need to I probably need to redraw that because it needs to go a little farther back, but that's just a rough guesstimate. So anyway, I'm going to get started on grinding this down some more here, and I'll just show, like I say, I'll just show a little bit of it, of the process, and then I'll cut and come back to it. I probably need to draw, I'm going to sand that down just a little bit and then draw the gill, this pattern on this side. So what I think I'm going to do is get the body down to the width it needs to be down here, and then start working on the top of the head, because these gills will be a little wider out here and then it curves up. So I want to make sure I got plenty of relief to make those gills be flared out. So and this is new for me. I'm just thinking out loud and off the top of my head, because I don't know, because I haven't done it before. So I'm just going to be careful and take my time and make sure that it's not overdone, because this is my last piece of Tupelo big enough to do this project with, so I can't mess it up. So okay, so I was using a belt sander there a little bit just to kind of smooth it down, just to kind of give me an idea where I need to go with it. I used the angle grinder with this carbide disc on here to get it to this shape, pretty much. And I need to just sit and look at it for a little while, and hold it in my hand, and I'll compare it with the mount and reference photos, and just see where I need to work on next. The problem I've had in the past is I just go and go and go, and then I kind of lose track of what I'm doing, and then I make mistakes. So I'm gonna look at reference photos. I'm gonna break for lunch here and look at some reference photos, and just kind of mull it over a little bit, and then I'll go from there. So I'm gonna stop right there for right now, and I will be back shortly. All right, I think I'm at a stopping point on this, that I can start doing hand tools tomorrow in part 2. So I'm gonna stop this here at part 1, and hopefully I've got this under 15 minutes, and I'm gonna try to keep it that way. So anyway, you can kind of see the progress here. It's starting to shape up, and I still got a little bit to go on thinning it down, especially on the back area. I am going to have a little bit of a belly on it, so I need to draw that in and get that shaped in. And again, I'm going to be drawing this pattern on over and over again until I get this down, the gill structure, straight to where I want it. And I'm probably going to do that with again with hand tools, with the Fordham. But anyway, I think I'm at a stopping point, and I appreciate y'all watching. If you please subscribe and give me a thumbs up. And again, if you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them in the comment section for me below. And I will see you on part 2.